Welcome, everyone, to another, I believe, just preparation for Georgia Revolution on Saturday. They're going up against Potros in the UPSL Championship Tournament. I'm Madison Crews. Join with me are some familiar faces with the Georgia Revolution. We have Lewis Green, we have Joshua, and then we have the head coach and Alec Morrison. How are you guys doing? How has the build-up been leading up to tomorrow's match?
Yeah, I think we're all doing well. I think we've been able to get training in even during the cold this week. I think the guys are up for it.
Yeah, it's getting to that stage of the season, all business at this point, which is exactly what you play the game for. It's also the time that knocks start to come in and all that sort of stuff, and the cold weather, like you mentioned. So that's been fun to deal with. A little bit of a reminder of home. I don't know about St. Kitts and Nevis, Josh, but a little bit more like England, I think.
We've been ready, training hard in the cold, and so our mindset, we're mindset out there for tomorrow.
You guys have seen Potros before, but it was way back in the very, very beginning of the season. I believe it was back on September 1st. So when you go back into this, and especially getting ready for this match again, how do you get ready and prepare to play a team again that you've seen only a couple months ago?
Yeah, so Potros, I mean, we played in the first match of the season. It was a very well-contested match. I think we ended up scoring a penalty in stoppage time. I thought for me, that was the first match of the season. Kind of every match since, I think we've kind of improved. But with Potros, I mean, they're familiar faces. We've been playing against them in the UPSL. Before UPSL, we were playing with them in other leagues as well. There's quite a few guys on their side that have played for the Revs in the past. So there's some history there. So I think it's for us, the preparation is just making sure we understand that we're playing an opponent that is going to want to win. I just think we've got a little bit more than they do.
Yeah, I personally played with quite a few of them myself as well, and I have some good friends who play over there as well, which makes me want to win even more. I definitely don't want to lose this one. We know Potros in and out. We've played them like quite a few times, even in preseason friendlies and stuff like that in the past couple of years. So we know what to expect. And if I'm being totally honest, from me personally, what I've seen from all the games that we've played this season, I don't think that if we're on it, there's a team that can handle what we bring to the table. So certainly looking forward to it.
Yeah. As I said, I'm ready. Tomorrow gonna be a real big difference when it comes to just our gameplay and what to come. But we've been ready.
You guys have been pretty solid defensively this season. Joshua in goal, Lewis in between the back line. What is that connection like between both of you guys and forming that connection throughout the season?
Well, to be honest, it's not just me and Josh. We've had pretty much the same back four throughout the whole season as well. And I think that's really helped from really just setting a defensive structure and a system of defending that we all can agree with and playing to our strengths. Obviously, you've got me and Luke at centre back, and he's 6'12" and I'm 6'5" myself. So we're good at competing in the air, and we've found out a system to play to our strengths, and the boys at fullback as well have been fantastic. And then when Josh has been needed, he's bailed us out a few times as well, which is very important in football as well. You're always going to need a goalkeeper who will pull you out every now and then. So man for man, I think we've really worked each other out, and we're working as a very good unit at the moment. So we've only gone strength to strength in that respect.
Yeah, communication is a big thing for us defensively. So without communication, we just unstoppable.
It's so interesting you guys bring up, I think, how closely knit all of these clubs are in the Georgia Conference in the UPSL. You have a lot of players from Potros, a lot of players from Kalanji, Dalton, North Georgia. I feel like it all kind of ties together in certain ways, whether you guys have played collegiately together or have played in academies together. When you go into a match like this and you know some of the players on the team, what are those conversations like? Do you talk to them a little bit before? Is there a little bit of smack talk thrown around? Or what is that like, getting to the chance to go up against a squad that you've seen before, but players that you also know really, really well?
I think from my personal experience, I mean, first of all, I think everybody's so interconnected in the Atlanta footballing community. So it's every week you're playing against somebody who you know of at least, and who you've played before. So especially those that I've played with, it's always friendly conversations. But when it gets down to business, and I need to make a tackle on them, they're going to know about it as well. So it's all friendly before and after the game, but after that whistle blows, it's time to go.
To be honest, I know no one, so I just play. I know.
Alec, when you look at the progression that this team has been on from the very beginning of the season to now, what have been some of the things that you've noticed that you've seen the team grow in as you've seen them go throughout the season?
I think the biggest thing is maturity. I want to say, I mean, if we don't have the youngest side in the division, we're pretty close to it. So it's kind of seeing the growth, especially some of the younger players, understanding like the moments of the game, like, hey, when should we keep the ball, or hey, when should we really get after the other team and things. I think that's, for me, the number one thing I've seen a lot of the guys. I've almost seen them like grow up this season, where it's you're getting a lot of 19, 20, 21-year-olds, some of which have played in college, some of which haven't, some coming straight out the academy program, and playing against men. But seeing them, just grow up, and show, hey, I it's not just that I can move a ball and I know how to pass, shoot, dribble. It's that, hey, I know how to manage a match. I think for me, that's been the number one area we've kind of grown this season. And it's been, I mean, as a coach, I mean, there's nothing more satisfying than seeing some of these players like really start to grow up.
How do you find that chemistry when you have so many players that come from different backgrounds, whether they come in internationally or they come and they play in the academy or they play in college and then they're just coming to play here to kind of get their foot in the door? How do you manage that? But also, how do you rely on some of the players who've been there for a lot longer to help them in molding this team and getting them more comfortable on the field?
I think for me, it's two things. One is creating a positive training environment where, regardless of whether a guy's been there 1 day or 5 years, they feel welcome in the group. And the other thing that's kind of tied to that is it is based on how you play. Like, it's merit based. Like, you earn your place in the team, you earn your minutes. And if you create an environment where that's true, guys understand, like, it's not about who's been there longer, it's who's working harder and who's performing. Those are the guys that get to play. And if you stay true to that, you create an environment where players will continue to grow and it'll stay positive as well.
I want to ask both Joshua and Lewis, from the very beginning, kind of similar into the question I just asked Alec, how have you seen yourselves individually grow this season?
Myself personally, I mean, going back to what you mentioned about the different cultures and the diversity that we have in the team, some Atlanta natives, some people from Hispanic backgrounds, a lot of Caribbean boys, and myself, I'm from way further away than most people. But we've really been able to gel as a family as well. And I think I've really enjoyed, I love playing with these boys. And they're now some of my closest friends, and you're coming into training and you're coming into games, stuff like that, and you want to get there early and have a little bit of a crack on and all that sort of stuff. So for me, like, really, really bonded as a group, and that helps with all of the communication and wanting to run that extra yard for somebody that you're playing alongside. So yeah, for me, I think it's been a real development in the way that I'm allowed to lead these boys and help them grow as players and vice versa as well, with them and communicating with me as well.
Yeah, with joining, ever since I started joining with the Revolution, we just been like a family-based team. Like, everybody, it doesn't matter where you're from, to be honest. it just built on, hey, we all love the sport and we come to do one job and just to enjoy the job, just enjoy football and just, hey, we can take our talent way farther than what we expected. Because so this season, I see a lot of development from me. You know, talking to different players, understanding how they see football, and just learn from them to say, hey, after this, after that, then hey, what can my skills, what does my knowledge can do to help that person? Likewise, for them to teach me something too. So that with the team, we just based on like, hey, everybody should know each other and how we should play as a family.
I mean, that must help too, I think, for both of you guys, especially with the diversity and the culture that you guys have on the Revolution. Being able to bounce ideas off of each other, being able to ask someone like, hey, how can I help you? Or how can you help me? That must help, especially with both of you guys helping, but also that helps the team grow.
Yeah, and it's all about having an open mindset when you're receiving communication and stuff like that. And I think we've got a great set of boys who want to listen and want to talk, and it's a good balance between giving your own opinion and also being open to other opinions as well. So I think we've really nailed that this season, and we've come to a good together sort of strategy in terms of how we're going to implement it, and that's why we've had a lot of success.
It's been fun to chat with you guys again as we head into this match on Saturday versus Potros. It's going to be at your home in McDonough at 5 p.m. All the times are so twisted up for me right now. 5 p.m. in McDonough. You guys are going to be facing Potros in the UPSL Tournament Championship. Guys, thank you so much again for taking the time, and good luck on Saturday.
Thank you for having us.
Cheers.